Well, it's funny what kind of people are attracted to. You know, I'm just trying to keep the main thing. The main thing is that's basketball, trying to win games, sticking up for my teammates.
Making it known, like if the refs aren't going to handle it, I will handle it.
Yeah, you know, I think that's just who I am. It's my personality.
Caitlin Clark just pulled off the most unexpected assist of her career, and it didn't happen on the court. While the world was celebrating her $25 million Nike deal, she shocked everyone by turning the spotlight on her teammate Sophie Cunningham. What happened next sent shockwaves through the WNBA and redefined what star power really looks like.
A top WNBA pick, Caitlin Clark, her first pro game, 10 days away, but even before she makes her pro debut, she has a major Nike deal on the line.
This wasn't a buzzer beater, it was a power play. A move so unexpected, it didn't just shake up the WNBA, it silenced it.
Well, Caitlin Clark could be breaking another record, this time with an endorsement deal. The Associated Press says Clark will soon be signing an 8-year, $28 million contract with Nike.
Caitlin Clark just signed a $25 million deal with Nike. Yeah, $25 million. That's not just the biggest sneaker contract in WNBA history, it's bigger than what some NBA veterans are pulling in. And she did it just a few months into her rookie season. That alone would have been headline material for weeks. But Caitlin, she didn't stop there. She flipped the script in a way no one saw coming. Because the real twist wasn't the money or even the signature shoe, though yes, she's getting her own line. The real jaw-dropper? What she did next. And it had nothing to do with herself.
The referees, are they ever gonna call a foul? Y'all gonna call a foul? Did you swallow your whistle?
After signing the deal, Caitlin invited her teammate Sophie Cunningham to what looked like a low-key Nike event in Indianapolis. Sophie thought it was a simple brand celebration, maybe a photo shoot or a media op. What she walked into was something no one in the WNBA had ever seen before. The room went dark. A short film rolled on the big screen. Caitlin's journey from her days in Iowa to the storm she's been weathering in the WNBA. The buzzer beaters, the critics, the sold-out arenas, the doubters, and the people who stood by her.
This is their best record in over 10 years.
Then Nike hands Caitlin a custom gold-stitched jersey, something only legends get. But instead of putting it on, Caitlin turns to Sophie and says, "This isn't just for me. This is for every woman who shows up, fights hard, and protects her team." And then it hits.
Turns out it's really hard to develop a boldly disruptive shoe on Zoom.
And then rolling that into what will be her shoe later in the year.
Caitlin didn't just ask Nike to celebrate her. She told Nike, "I want Sophie with me in this." Because the girl never takes favors for granted.
This was, I believe, Caitlin Clark's last game in the WNBA. And then also, of course, the WNBA All-Star Game had 3.4 million viewers, and that's the most watched WNBA.
Out came a box. Inside, a custom Sophie Cunningham Player Edition sneaker, designed in Indiana Fever colors with the phrase "no backing down" stitched on the heel. And attached to it, a contract. A sub-deal under Caitlin's own endorsement terms. This was Caitlin's doing. She used her own negotiating power to give Sophie a piece of the spotlight, a piece of the pie. Now let that sink in for a second.
When it comes to attendance, when it comes to viewership, when it comes to jersey sales, when it comes to merch sales, it's going to be the biggest that we have seen.
Because in a league where players fight for contracts, attention, and minutes on the floor, where loyalty isn't just rare, it's risky, Caitlin Clark didn't forget who stood by her when the lights were harshest. While other stars would have celebrated solo, she made a deliberate, quiet move that spoke volumes. If you ride for me, I'll ride for you. So why Sophie? Why her?
You gotta speak up and speak out. At this point, they don't even care if we speak out.
Caitlin Clark, currently the face of the WNBA, yes.
Because when Caitlin came into the league, it wasn't all applause. She walked into a media frenzy, a hyper-physical league, and non-stop drama, especially from players like Angel Reese and Dijonai Carrington, who made headlines trying to knock her off her pedestal. But one player kept stepping up beside her, taking fouls, pushing back, speaking out. That was Sophie Cunningham.
But she did it in a way that she wasn't going to injure JC. She was just making it known, like, if the refs aren't going to handle it, I will handle it.
She became Clark's enforcer, the teammate who did the dirty work. The one who stood in the fire so Caitlin could shoot freely. Caitlin didn't forget that. And she didn't wait for a marketing team to tell her how to say thank you. This was about respect, loyalty, and rewriting what it means to have power in women's sports.
How people view Caitlin Clark, and whether people view that the WNBA needs to protect Caitlin Clark, the golden goose of a league, as which she is being called.
And Nike, they weren't just buying her jump shot, they were buying the story, the culture. Caitlin doesn't just put up numbers, she moves people. She sells out arenas, breaks records, and more importantly, she leads, quietly, boldly, with actions that shake things up without saying a word.
Again, we don't know how bad it is.
That's why Nike beat out Adidas, Puma, and Under Armour. They saw what she could do on the court, but more importantly, what she could build off of it. And this move, this $25 million move with a side of selflessness, might be her biggest assist yet. Now here's where things got emotional. Like, grab a towel and pretend it's allergies, emotional.
She's #1 and 2 in every offensive stat. She's hitting more threes this season than Steph Curry did in his first MVP season.
So Nike hands Caitlin Clark this stunning gold-stitched jersey. Custom-made, stitched with royalty vibes, the kind of thing you frame and hang next to trophies. Everyone's clapping, cameras are rolling, the energy in the room is screaming, "Caitlin, you made it!" But she doesn't put it on.
What you're going to do when you come into our house. It was an intentional foul, it was a hard foul. She brought her down.
Nope. Caitlin just holds it for a second, then turns to Sophie Cunningham with the calmest mic drop in sports history and says, "This isn't just for me. This is for every woman who shows up, fights hard, and protects her team." Let that marinate.
Her ability to step up in big moments. When the bright lights are on, Caitlin Clark is also on.
Then she reaches into a glass display case. And yeah, at this point, Sophie still has no idea what's happening. Caitlin pulls out a box. Inside, a custom Sophie PE sneaker. Fever colors, of course. But on the heel, stitched in bold letters, is a phrase that could only belong to Sophie. No backing down.
This was, I believe, Caitlin Clark's last game.
And that's not all. Next to those sneakers, a contract. A real one. Under Caitlin's endorsement umbrella. Meaning, Clark used her own Nike deal to create a sub-deal for Sophie. Not a cosign, not a promo shout-out. An actual business move that brings Sophie into the brand deal officially. Let's just say, Sophie was done. Tears. Shock. The kind of moment where you realize someone saw all the things you did when no one else was watching, and they didn't just remember, they made sure the world would too.
Not blame Sophie at all. Like, I have her back.
Now here's the thing. People might have asked, why Sophie? Like, why would Caitlin, the biggest rookie name in the game, use her first major endorsement deal to shine a light on someone else? Well, here's why. Because Sophie's been that teammate. The one who throws herself in the middle of every scrap. The one who talks back to reporters when they cross a line. The one who takes fouls you don't even see on camera. Just to make sure Caitlin doesn't hit the floor again.
So we know the new Caitlin Clark Nike shoes came out, and they sold out. It was rumored that 13,000 pairs of Caitlin Clark's new Nike basketball sneakers were being sold on June 30th.
Caitlin didn't get this far alone, and she knows it. In a league full of egos, bruised elbows, and cameras catching every side eye, Sophie stayed solid. She wasn't chasing headlines, she was chasing protection, chasing trust.
Maybe I'm biased here, but I'm gonna give you guys my straight up honest opinion on this. She bear hugged her, took her to the ground. Yes, it was intentional. It was absolutely intentional. It was, to me, payback for what was happening the entire game.
She became Caitlin's unofficial bodyguard, her muscle, her don't mess with my rookie enforcer. And if you watched even a couple Fever games this season, you saw it. Every time someone tried to rattle Caitlin, Sophie showed up, sometimes literally throwing herself into traffic.
Making it known, like, if the refs aren't gonna handle it, I will handle it.
And yet, Sophie never asked for credit, never went on a rant, never made it about her. So Caitlin did. She once said in an interview, "People talk about the plays I make, but Sophie makes the plays no one sees." And in that Nike room, she made sure everyone saw. Now here's where it gets bigger than just two players and a pair of sneakers, because this has never been done before. We've seen rookies land deals, we've seen veterans cash in, but no rookie in league history has ever taken a monster deal and used it to put another player on.
Is going to change. And not much is going to change until there's literally a shift in how they view the WNBA, how they view good basketball on the court.
Caitlin Clark just changed the blueprint. She flipped the whole conversation about what power and influence look like in women's sports. She didn't flex by taking more. She flexed by giving more.
And I'm here to tell you, it is not a good moment in the fan base. Fans are quiet online. A lot of people are starting to look like they're reselling their All-Star tickets.
And the ripple effect? Immediate. Teammates were stunned. Alyssa Thomas, yeah, that Alyssa, was overheard telling Fever staffers, "She just gave Sophie the kind of shine most of us never get in our whole careers, and she didn't even blink." That's the part you can't manufacture, the unity, the way the locker room changed after that. Rookies started seeing what loyalty looks like in action. Veterans started rethinking what it means to use your platform, and the whole team started walking a little taller.
They had other ads and things that came out, but since then it has been cricket.
Because this wasn't just a business play, it was a culture reset. What Caitlin did said loud and clear, "If you ride for me, I'll ride for you." No ego, no marketing team spinning the story, just one player using her moment to reward another's loyalty. That's rare. And in the WNBA, it's revolutionary. So yeah, $25 million is a huge number. But what Caitlin did with it? That's priceless.
Caitlin Clark has created more buzz around the basketball landscape and has actually transformed and revived a league that was the WNBA, and she is getting paid a measly $28 million.
Here's the part where you realize Nike wasn't just buying Caitlin Clark's jump shot, they were buying a movement. Sure, Clark's got range that stretches halfway to the parking lot, but Nike saw something far deeper than her logo threes and highlight reels. They saw a cultural force, a rookie who walks into a league full of politics, pressure, and personalities, and decides to lead differently. Not with flash, but with loyalty. Not just talent, but values. That's what Nike was really paying for.
Thank God they get Caitlin Clark. She's injured for 2 weeks, all of a sudden attendance goes down.
Because let's be honest, what rookie in any sport looks across the table at a billion-dollar brand and says, "I'll sign the deal, but I'm bringing my teammate with me"? That's exactly what Caitlin did. She told Nike, "If I'm going to wear the swoosh, I want Sophie Cunningham standing next to me." And Nike didn't just nod, they embraced it. Letting Caitlin include Sophie in her endorsement wasn't a kind gesture. It was a marketing masterstroke. Loyalty sells, sisterhood sells, and authenticity, that's gold in a sports world drowning in scripted PR and empty slogans.
Her ability to step up in big moments. When the bright lights are on, Caitlin Clark is also on.
Now get ready, because this move just opened the floodgates. Expect campaigns built around trust and grit, not just speed and stats. Nike is already rolling out a Built for Each Other commercial featuring Caitlin and Sophie. 2 teammates, 1 story, a message that hits way beyond the court. There's going to be loyalty-themed ad spots, behind-the-scenes footage, and most importantly, merch with meaning. You're not just buying a shoe anymore. You're buying into something personal, something real.
Continues to prove her worth on the court every single time she steps on the court. And with that, she had a huge impact on elevating her entire team yesterday.
You don't really get to be a dog and get to that platform where you get to bring a national title, the first one back to LSU, without having that type of mentality, that chip on your shoulder. And I feel like we have to let these young women be unapologetically themselves.
And yes, the limited edition Sophie PE sneakers are coming. That's right. For the first time ever in WNBA history, a player is getting her own sneaker release tied directly to a teammate's deal. That's how historic this is. The sneaker itself, styled in Indiana Fever colors with no backing down stitched on the heel like a battle cry. You already know fans are going to scoop those up the second they drop.
Caitlin Clark running the show. Caitlin Clark running the offense, being the innovator of offense, the distributor of offense, for the Indiana Fever.
But what Caitlin's building goes far beyond just shoes and screen time. She's launching a mentorship program for girls in underfunded communities, especially those who love basketball but don't have access to courts, coaches, or even a safe place to play. And this isn't some quick camera-friendly charity stunt. Caitlin's been working on this quietly behind the scenes. She wants it to be sustainable, local, and deeply personal. It's going to involve clinics, training, gear drops, and real one-on-one guidance from WNBA athletes, including herself and Sophie. Like this video and smash that subscribe button to get more updates on WNBA Season 2025.